I want to talk about why being original is a blessing and a curse. I got a comment on one of my videos the other day, and a subscriber writes, I have this happening at work a lot, copycats. Like, ma'am, be yourself. I can't stand unoriginal people. I've never wanted to be like anyone else or have what they have. I have my own personality and tastes, and they're almost always the complete opposite of what others prefer. Not on purpose, I was/am just into different things. I used to feel like I was odd because I didn't fit in. Now I like that about myself. I don't want to be like anyone else. And I can relate so much to this, and I know a lot of my exoticals and beautiful women out there can relate. When you are that girl, when you're a triple threat, people are going to be attracted to the things you're into. Even if they never thought of that a day in their life, you doing it makes it look good. Even if they never looked twice at the man you're dating before, now all of a sudden they want parts. Now all of a sudden they gotta have him. People are attracted to people who are original because it's never been done before. Or it's so uncommon that it's so interesting to observe, and they want a piece of that. They want to be interesting. See, people perceive originality as unique, as different, as attractive. People want to be different because who wants to be the same? You know what I mean? They understand that there is a lot of value in being unique. Nobody wants to be same old, same old. Nobody wants to be carbon copies, even though a lot of people just naturally are. Nobody wants to really be that deep down. Like, when you unpack what common really is, it's not desirable. But let's be honest, being original is very desirable. So I'm going to go through the blessings of being original, and then I'm going to go through the curses. For one, like I said just now, it's a desirable trait. When you are original, people are attracted to you because they think that you are smart. They look at you as a pioneer of something. They see that you have a creative mind and you can think outside of the box. They see that you go against the grain. And this is a very admirable trait to have. Of course, haters and people who don't want you to know your worth aren't going to admit this, but this is why we have channels like this. So you guys never forget. And, me making these videos also affirms myself and helps me to just remember who I am, because you have people out here who are working overtime so that you never realize who you are, or so that you forget. So be sure to always clock in at the Exotic Brown Skin University every day, because you will be getting a very sweet, gentle reminder of who you are. So yes, ladies, that is one of the biggest blessings, is that you are going to be perceived very well. People are going to admire you. People are going to think highly of you for being original. Another reason why being original is a blessing is because you get to be yourself. A lot of people are sad and depressed and feeling unfulfilled in life because they are not being themselves. They look at being themselves as a handicap. They think that it's undesirable. They think that being themselves will get them hurt. They have this irrational fear of being themselves, maybe because of trauma, maybe because of caring about what other people think, and they're doing themselves a disservice by not being themselves. And so they're constantly in this state, in this loop of feeling unfulfilled in life, because your destiny and your purpose and your happiness and your true happiness and joy is on the other side of you being yourself. So if you're not being yourself, you're going to constantly feel this void in your life. It's going to feel like this never-ending pit that you're constantly trying to accommodate for or overcompensate for, because you have yet to find the joy and the excitement and the value in being yourself. And the people who are being themselves are truly happiest because they don't have to perform for anybody. They're not trying to please anyone. They're not trying to be accepted or liked. They're simply just existing, and them existing is good enough for them. And coming from someone who used to be a people pleaser and was so afraid of stepping on people's toes and all these other things, being afraid of people judging me, I can truly say that since I've been on this journey of loving myself and putting myself first and doing what I need to do to be my happiest, I've never been more content. I've never been more in alignment with God and with my calling and with my passions in my life. I feel the most aligned and the most fulfilled right now in the present because I have made it my mission to work on being myself, showing up, even if I'm not feeling my best, or even if I am doubting myself slightly, I still push past that fear. I push past that doubt. I push past the uncertainty, and I'm showing up unapologetically me. And when you do that, it builds confidence in yourself, and you begin to reprogram your mind to believe that you are enough. So that's another reason why being original is a blessing. Another reason why being original is a blessing is because you have this magnetic presence about you. And this kind of ties into the first one. When you are original, people are drawn to your authenticity. And so you're naturally going to get more opportunities. More eyes will be on you. More people will be looking to you for influence. Like, you'll have more pull when it comes to how you can influence people and how you can be a leader in your community because you have magnetism. Beauty combined with authenticity, it just creates this unforgettable, bright, shining aura that people cannot deny. People can't deny you. And that's why, ladies, you'll run into people who are constantly trying to make you doubt your authenticity. Or maybe when you were younger in school, you may have been bullied when you were just being yourself. It's because people can't take the light. It's too bright. And they feel exposed standing so close to your light. So that's why people bullied you, because you were very magnetic, and being yourself is quite literally one of the highest vibrations. So that's going to irritate a lot of low vibrational, bottom of the barrel people. Another reason why being original is a blessing is because of the creative expression you are able to have without apology. So this also ties into the second point I made, but when you are being yourself and you are being original, you are free to dress, speak, and live in the ways that truly reflect who you are, and you're not afraid of judgment, and this is such a freeing feeling because there's no inhibitions, there's no fears, there's no second guessing yourself. It's such a liberating thing, and I think we all aspire to have this, is to just not care about anything and to just do what makes us happy and us happy alone. So now I want to get into the curses, child, because just as there are beautiful things that come with being original, there are also some ugly things. One of them being very obvious is the hypervisibility, okay? When you're constantly being watched, critiqued, sexualized, etc., it makes it hard for you to want to be vulnerable. So maybe deep down, you really want to be vulnerable, like you really want to be yourself and show people who you are, what you're into. But if there are so many people who are addicted to knowing what's going on in your life, obsessed with you but not showing you love. We all know these people. These are people who stalk you on Instagram, or your family members that pretend like they like you but they don't. They're watching. They're always watching, critiquing, have something to say, but they're judging harshly. So that's one of the downsides and the curses of having originality and being authentic, is that you have to deal with a lot of people's scrutiny and people always having an opinion about you. If you don't care about that, girl, more power to you. I feel like you'll do a lot better, and it'll be a lot easier for you to walk in your power and be who you want to be, because you already don't give a F, right? Of course, one of the other obvious signs is jealousy and resentment. Okay, so both men and women are going to envy your combination of beauty and authenticity, because it's like, damn, like, where is the flaw? Like, they're trying to find your Achilles heel. They're trying to find what your kryptonite is. Like, why won't this bitch show that she's not perfect? Like, you know what I'm saying? They're constantly going to be looking for a flaw. And they're always going to be jealous of the fact that you can be yourself while also carrying all the trauma you carry, overcoming all of the attacks, overcoming all of the things that were meant to put you down permanently. They're going to hate you for what you bring to the table that they don't have, which is being themselves. And so that's when you'll be met with a lot of passive aggressiveness, sabotage. You'll have friends who turn into rivals because you're trying to be their friend whole time they're trying to compete with you. It's exhausting. So you deal with a lot of jealousy and resentment as well. Another curse of being your authentic self is people will likely want to hide themselves from you. So like I was saying before, when you are authentic, it's like you're shining this really bright light of authenticity. You're not faking the funk like a lot of people do. And so people who are threatened by that light that you're carrying feel exposed by you being yourself. They feel like you can see them. And if you have discernment, if you're a spiritual girly like me, and like most of the girls on this channel, you will always be able to tell when someone is not operating in their authenticity and when they're not being original. And it is very cringe to observe and witness. It is very uncomfortable for someone like me who, I have an undiagnosed ADHD. So I feel like I'm able to pick up on people's behaviors and patterns and, shifts and changes in energy. And it's so uncomfortable when I meet someone who's masking or who is toxic or narcissistic and they think they have everyone fooled. And then they meet me and it's like their face kind of just drops because immediately something in me is exposing something in them. I don't know what they're seeing when they look at me or when they get around me, but clearly it's an energetic thing. I treat everyone with respect, but it's so painfully obvious that if someone's energy and body language and face just shifts as soon as they meet you or as soon as you are in close proximity with them, it's because they're noticing that you are being your authentic self and they are not. And they're picking up on how you are operating in authenticity and they are not, and they feel exposed. They feel like, damn, she can see me. She sees that I'm not being authentic. She sees that I'm not being real. All these other people I have fooled, but I can't fool her. And so that creates alienation, loneliness. You're going to deal with people who don't want to be around you. And it will feel alienating. It'll feel like you can't make friends or that you can't keep friends. It'll feel like the men in your life will only want shallow relationships because they know that you can see through them. And so they're not even going to bother trying to play the cat and mouse game with you. You're going to deal with a lot of this stuff from men and from women. And I think another curse of being your authentic self is just having to deal with being misunderstood. Looking back at all the times I was picked on in school, I feel like people misunderstood me being myself and they took it as I wanted attention. And it's so odd to think that some girls back then, thought that I was purposely being a certain type of way because I wanted attention or because I wanted people to think of me in a certain way, when in reality, I was just minding my business and half the time had social anxiety. But people had me so messed up. And it's like only the people that took the time to get to know me turned around and said, wow, you're such a good friend. Wow, you're such a good this. You're such a good that. And it's like they came into knowing me with preconceived notions about me, just completely misunderstanding me based off of my face and my body and how I looked. And the curse in this is that you're going to run into people who make up their mind about you and refuse to change their mind even after they've gotten to know you or even after they've gotten to see that you're not a bad person. They're going to run with narratives that you're a bitch or that you're mean, that you're just some type of way that you're not. And that is the hurtful part of being your original self, is that people are going to purposely misunderstand you and accidentally misunderstand you. And it just comes with the territory, ladies. So ladies, those are my blessings and curses. Let me know what you think are some blessings and curses of being original down below. I'd love to have a conversation about this. I'll also be leaving my email in the description box below so you can share your stories there as well. Have a lovely day, ladies.